Good afternoon, students. This is video 1.4, Tools of Geometry, and our objective is I can find and compare the measure of angles. So let's start off by reviewing our quiz. Here's your quiz. So question number 1 said, draw and label a pair of opposite rays. Opposite rays, pretty simply, are going to be rays that form a straight angle. Okay, so they form a 180-degree angle. So that would mean we are looking at option B here because they are directly across from each other and they form a 180-degree angle. So that answer is B. Number 2. So for question number 2, we are looking for a plane that contains AC, okay, line AC, which means we have to use letters in this plane that are not collinear, 3 of them, to find that plane. So we need 3 non-collinear points, okay, 3 points that are not on the same line, collinear, okay. So that means let's go through and eliminate the ones that don't make sense. So ACR is clearly 3 points on the same line, so that one does not work. Okay, WCT again, same thing, 3 points on the same line. RCA, 3 points on the same line. The only 3 points that are not on the same line are W, R, and T. Those are 3 non-collinear points. They make a plane, so our answer is going to be C. Last question on this sheet, number 3. Name a 4th point in the plane TUV. So I'm going to take red here, and I'm going to draw this plane. So there's T, there's U, and there's W. And if we were to connect these, and we want to make a plane here, we actually could form a plane with Z. Okay? So that's why we're using point Z here, and our answer is B. Okay? So now we can actually put something in that particular plane, maybe like a slice of cheese on its side or something in a box. Okay, so we just reviewed our quiz 1. And if you did not take quiz 1, you will have to take an alternate quiz because the answers have now been posted. On to our lesson for the day. All right, we talked about what our objective is for today. Let's get right into it. An angle, okay? An angle is going to be made of 2 rays, okay? And it's going to share an endpoint. So share a point. Okay, so if I were to make an angle, here's my angle. I would name this angle by the 3 points. You need at least 3 points to name an angle. So we're going to call this one A, B, C, where the blue dots are the points on this line. Let's make that B a little better and make that C a little bigger. Okay, so this would be called actually angle A, B, C. That is the notation right there for an angle. You could also call this angle CBA. Again, as long as the B is in the middle. Measure. All right, when we measure an angle, we're looking at the numbers on a protractor. So this is a protractor right here, okay? This half semicircle looking shape or device, okay? Usually they're plastic. They do make them using iPads now. We can use iPads to kind of manipulate them or whatever. And in order to figure out what the measure of an angle is, you actually take the protractor itself and you actually look at where the angle measures fall. So if the lines fall here and here, you'd actually look at those numbers. The numbers there were 90 and 45. So you would actually look at the difference between the two of these. It just happens to be 45. And whatever the absolute value of that measure is. The absolute value of 45 is 45 because obviously absolute value means positive. So that's why it's the absolute value of the difference. Okay? I do want to mention at this time, over here on the left, you may notice that I have some skills there. It says I Excel skills. That means after this lesson, you should be able to try C1 and C2 and maybe be successful on it. All right. On to more definitions now. So we're going to look at angles, and we're going to classify them by measure. The first one we want to look at is an acute angle. So an acute angle is going to be an angle that is smaller than 90 degrees. So let's call this acute angle TRU. Okay? It's between 0 and 90 degrees. So it's greater than 0, but smaller than 90 degrees. Now, a right angle, which we all know and we've seen before, is going to be exactly 90 degrees. There is no if, and, or but about it. So if the measure of this angle is x, it will be x is 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is going to be larger than 90 degrees, but smaller than 180 degrees. Okay, so it's going to be between those. So its range is 90, bigger than 90, but smaller than 180. And our last but not least angle is going to be a straight angle. And a straight angle is kind of cool because if you look at it, it's literally straight. It is a straight angle. It encompasses 180 degrees. All right, we're on to the examples now. So how do we name the angle below? Well, we look at the angle and we say the angle that in the middle is in the middle. So we call this angle ABR. Or we could call this angle RBA. Sometimes, very rarely, you will see them just name it by the vertex or vertex itself. So it could possibly be called angle B. Next question says, what are the measures of angle BAC, angle CAE, and angle DAF? So let's look at BAC first. So here's BAC. And it looks like that is actually about from 0 to 30 degrees there, because that looks like that could be about 30. So this is actually a 30-degree angle. Just mark that. So angle BAC is 30 degrees. And we know it's less than 90, so it's going to be acute. If we look at angle CAE now, angle CAE, again, just looking at it, CAE, this goes from 30 to, let's just say, 125. So 125 minus 30 is going to give us 95. So we know that's bigger than 90, so that should be an obtuse angle. Last but not least, let's look at angle DAF. DAF, well, that's a nice right angle there. So we're going to say that that is 90 degrees, DAF, 90, and right. All right, so our last question for examples is going to be if MJK, or measure of angle JKL, is 150 degrees, what are the measure of the two angles that build it up? So what you have to do at this point is you have to take these two angles and you want to think about the angle addition postulate. And the angle addition postulate basically states this. If I have two angles, so here is an angle that's been split into two, angle A and angle B, then the angles themselves will add up their measure to the sum of both. So it'll add up to the sum of A plus B, which should make sense because A plus B should equal A plus B. So let's actually do that. If we know the whole thing here, 9x plus 2, and the other angle, which is 6x plus 13, and we add those together, we should get 150. So now if we go ahead and substitute here, after completing the problem, we've solved it and we get x equals 9. We're going to say 9 times 9 up here, plus 2 will give me 83. And then over here, 6 times 9 plus 13 will give me 54 plus 13, which should give me 67. And it does work out that 83 plus 67 gives us 150. So those are our two solutions. Okay, so here's our secret hot question for the day. If the measure of RQT is 155, that's the whole thing here, RQT, what are the measures of RQS and TQS? See you in class on Monday. Sorry for the long video, but we did have to review the quiz. You can expect just one additional minute on the weekends. Thank you. See you Monday.